So I actually have two videos in the works right now. I have this one, and then I have a top 10 list of the current Wrestling Day themes. I'm not too sure which one I'm going to release first. In the other one, I said that this will be coming out second, but in this one might come out first. So in which case, be sure to subscribe and check out my other one, because I'm indecisive. Don't know why. Can't decide which one to release on this fine Sunday. So we shall see. We shall see. Like both. Hello and welcome to FTTR. I am Ewan McQuaid, and today we are talking once again about Sami Zayn. In particular, we are talking about, is he a top guy for the company? Now, before we get into that, please hit subscribe, please like this video, please comment your thoughts down below, and I'll try and reply to every single one of them. We're going to jump into this topic because it was reported recently that Sami Zayn is not viewed as the face of the company by Vince and by Triple H. I think for a lot of people, we all thought Vince was the one who wasn't a fan of Sami Zayn or didn't see him in that way. But Triple H, he strapped a rocket to the man in NXT. He gave him that big underdog run. He gave him the big match with Shinsuke Nakamura. He obviously saw a lot in Sami Zayn, so it's a bit shocking to see that he isn't particularly behind Sami Zayn as being the face of the company. Now, I think in order to get into that, we need to dive into the faces of WWE and who has been seen as their top star, because unlike a lot of sports or like combat sports, there isn't one guy in those sports. You know, boxing, not that I know much about boxing, but I'm going to talk about boxing. You've got guys like Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder. That's all I can come up with off the top of my head. But there's a few top guys who are really good in that profession. Same with MMA. You've got, obviously, you had Conor McGregor, who was, pioneering that. Ronda Rousey was a big face of MMA. I'm blanking on MMA names as well. I'm only thinking of old ones like George St. Pierre and Anderson Silva and Chuck Liddell. There were a lot of guys in that mix. Top guys. Idril Adesanya as well. He's another big guy in MMA. So there's not just one, but WWE seem to want to build their company around one person. They did it with Hogan. They did it with Austin. They did it with Cena. They've done it with Roman. Granted, Austin, there were a lot of people in that mix. Obviously, Rock, Mankind, Triple H. There were other people, but it was centered around one person. Whether that's a great business model is another question. Because if you're putting all your eggs into that one basket, it can fall apart easily. We saw that with Roman Reigns when they were pushing him as this top babyface, as the next John Cena that they wanted to build the company around, and it did not work. Fans reacted very negatively to that. It did not work. It has to happen organically. We had years of Cena being forced down our throats. People didn't respond to that particularly well until like 2016. So the face of the company thing isn't really something that I agree with to begin with. I don't think that's something that should necessarily happen. You should try and create as many Roman-level stars as you can, not just one. Surely, because if that one fails, if something happens, if plans go awry, what have you got to fall back on? You can't build a company around one person. I appreciate that they've done this story of Roman being the head of the table, which has required him to be the top star, that has come at the detriment of other stars, like your Finn Balor's, like your Cesaro's, all those people who lost to Roman during the dark days of his title run. Which leads on to Sami Zayn. Because I do believe he can be one of the top guys in WWE. He really can. Would he have to do... Again, it just falls on that logic that they want one person doing all these things. They want one person going on the talk shows, the podcasts and everything like that. But if you get a lot of people to that level, you could have more people than just Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch and Ronda Rousey and Roman doing these things. You can have a lot more people representing the company and being the face of WWE. You don't need the one guy. And that all falls on that aspect of something. But in terms of a kayfabe, it's got to be that the person who wins the belts off Roman is going to be leading WWE for the next 5 years. And they need to strap it to the right person, which is where the Sami Zayn issue comes, because you have Cody and you have Sami. It's those two people. Storyline-wise, it makes sense for both people to win the belts from Roman. You have the family feud with the Rhodes legacy versus the Anoa'i legacy, and then you have the extremely personal relationships between the Bloodline and Sami Zayn. Those are the two things you have to balance from a storyline perspective. Which is more significant? I think Sami's is like spur of the moment kind of thing. He is the hot thing right now, and we've had so many times in wrestling where they haven't gone with the hot thing. Big example of that is Hook. Hook was the most hot, over fucking babyface in all of AEW, and they didn't strike while the iron was hot. Same with Daniel Bryan. Well, sort of. And there's just Rusev Day is another one. Rusev should have been WWE champion with the reactions he was getting for Rusev Day. And you look at the reaction that Sami Zayn got on Friday Night SmackDown when he attacked Roman Reigns. He should be the one, surely. But Cody's getting the exact same reaction. So you're in this spot of what do we do? Can we have both guys challenge for the belts? And can Sami Zayn be the face of WWE that we want? Because obviously Cody's a lot more marketable. I hate to bring it down to, looks and aesthetic and stuff like that, but Cody is more marketable at the moment than Sami Zayn. I would argue that they have presented Sami Zayn like this, like a conspiracy theorist and a stereotypical conspiracy theorist. Obviously, he is a very, very handsome man. He's a lot more handsome than me, and I think he is marketable. NXT Sami Zayn was incredibly marketable. But what do they do? What do they do in this scenario? I'm not going to get into fantasy booking. If it were me, and it's so hard, like this is one of the hardest dilemmas I think WWE has faced from a booking perspective in years, because a lot of the other issues could have been fixed with Vince just doing what the fans wanted. But here the fans have got two options. Both are good. But which do they choose? And it all comes down to that. It comes down to who is going to be the face of the company. And I disagree with the notion that it can't be Sami. I fundamentally disagree with that, because I think anyone could be the face of any company. I think we are in a progressive time. We are in, you don't have to look like a chiseled god to be relatable or to be successful. So I 100% believe that Sami could be the face of WWE, which is why I think they should go with him. I get it's so annoying, right, that Elimination Chamber has come at this time. If Elimination Chamber was after Mania, that would make so much more sense. Cody could lose. He could easily lose by Seth Rollins' interference, by just Roman cheating or something like that, and then Sami could have it after. But the fact that it's before is the issue. I think Sami can be the face of WWE, should be the face of WWE if you're going to do that. And you should really go with what is hot right now. And that's Sami. Sami is nuclear hot, and he's going to be nuclear hot in Montreal. Could they potentially do the switch at Elimination Chamber and have Roman Reigns lose on fundamentally a B show? It's so hard. It's so hard. But to answer the question of this video, is Sami Zayn the new face of WWE? Not yet, but he could be. And that's what I'm trying to get across, is that they need to push aside all these preconceived notions that they've had from like the 80s and the 90s and stuff like that they have to build around one person, and just make Sami fully fledged fiery babyface who is going to beat Roman. His mission is to beat Roman and to destroy the bloodline. And there you have it. You have a new top star in Sami Zayn who could, carry the company for 5 years. Because he could. He's that good. He's that good in the ring. And we forget how good he is in the ring because we don't really see him wrestle that often. So I'm here for Sami Zayn dethroning the tribal chief. I don't think it will happen, but I think it should happen. I think it should happen. I think Cody can easily recover from losing to Roman at Mania. And that is how I'd like to see this whole scenario play out. Cody loses at Mania, night 2, Roman has to face Sami. Sami also has. I would have, okay, I said I wasn't going to fantasy book, but I'm going to fantasy book. I would have Kevin and Sami versus the Usos on night 1, where the Usos pin Kevin Owens. And then I would have Roman beat Cody at Mania night 1. And then Sami somehow faces Roman on night 2 and wins, because then you don't have the issue of, oh, Roman's hurt, Sami's full strength. No, Sami needs to wrestle a match the night before as well. And then I think you've got that perfect story of both guys are wounded, both guys are injured. Can Sami do it? That is the way I would book it, because Cody can easily recover from that. He can easily recover from a loss from Roman. So yeah, Sami Zayn as the new top babyface and the face of the company. Can it happen? Yes, it can. I do believe it can. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on the Sami Zayn situation down in the comments below. I want to know everything. It's the hottest thing in wrestling right now. So let me know down in the comments. What do you think? Let me know everything you want. Please hit subscribe. Please like this video. Thank you all ever so much for your support, and have a nice day.